Hi, happy holiday weekend. We are super excited because our kids are still in school today and we are not at work. So we have some big plans for the day, which I will tell you about in a second. But I haven't done kind of a full garden tour and I've made some changes, so I'm going to go around and do that now. These tours are really as much for my own reference as it is for y'all, but if anyone, even if one person enjoys it, I guess it's worth it. So the first big change I made is these 3 herbs, so basil, chives, and thyme. We're all getting choked out by different plants in the garden, and so I upgraded them to our table, and they seem to be liking it a lot more. Y'all, overflow central, which is what I call this deck area, is like just really intense. So let me walk you through a few things that have changed up here. So this is my Roma tomato plants, still struggling with end rot. I'll show you some of the things that I've been trying, but hopefully some of my tactics have worked, because this looks good, but they always look good at this size, and then when they get a little bigger they look worse. One of the tactics up here is I actually upgraded the bag from a 5-gallon bag to a 15-gallon bag, and so hopefully that helps. And then I also got some bone meal that I've been sprinkling on top of the soil. I try to do like a Tums calcium crushed up in water spray, but the sprayer that I bought doesn't work, so I have to return it to Menards today and get another one. And the bone meal I think is helping, but it's a little bit slower reaction. Like I can't spray the leaves and get like an influx of calcium into the plant. And so I think it's working, it's just acting a little bit slower. And I'm gonna go to Menards today and try to get a new sprayer and try the quick fix yet again. The strawberries are happy as always, although red strawberries stay on here for about 2 seconds with my kids. And the zucchini is doing really good. This zucchini is funny though, because there's a couple fruit on it. I'm trying to even see if you can see them, but the fruit doesn't seem to be getting a lot bigger. And the leaves and flowers on this thing are just insane. So I'm hoping that it's just kind of finding its, there's a fruit down there. Finding its own, and that the fruit production will speed up, but the leaf production is a ton. Whereas this yellow squash, yes, it has a ton of leaves, but it has a lot more really developing fruit on it as well. And so I'm excited that we'll have some yellow squash here soon. These overflow cucumbers there's 4 plants in here, and they're going all the way down the side of the deck, all the way down this way. And I'm starting to struggle with water retention because I know that this container is too small to support this number of plants. But almost every branch has these beautiful little pickling tomatoes coming up. So, you know, I probably should take some. Oh, look at how big that one is. I didn't even see that one in there. Oh, hey, buddy. Let's see if I can get you in there. Oh, hey, I see you now. I see you. Anyway, I probably should take some off. I'm totally not going to though, so we'll see how this goes. The beans are also starting to bean out, so lots of flowers on here. Hopefully here in a couple weeks I'll have a good mess of beans. Y'all, these potatoes are insane. I'm gonna try to post a picture of what they look like just like 4 weeks ago when I built the thing to mound them or hill them or whatever people say, but now they're just huge. And so I've been plucking the flowers, and I've been waiting for these to start yellowing because I think that's when you're supposed to pull them, but they're just growing like crazy still, so who knows what's going on underneath the soil. And then my neighbor got some heirloom tomato plants, and so she brought 2 over, and this is one place that I had left to kind of fit one, and so I planted one here. I still need to get it staked up. I've harvested all of the broccoli off of these plants, but I'm keeping them in to see what I can expect on the side shoots of the plants and see what will produce. I'll show you a couple in the other garden that are starting to actually already produce side shoots of broccoli. So I'll show you that. Here's my asparagus bed. Can't tell, it's full of weeds. I think I'm giving up on this area. This has always been like very weedy soil, and because of the asparagus, I didn't put a landscaping fabric down, and I'm realizing in this area that I'm going to need landscaping fabric, so I'm sad. I don't know if I'm going to try to grab these asparagus and put them somewhere else, but I just don't think this is the right area for them, and I don't know what I will do here instead. And then, oh, the tomatoes. No matter how much I prune, they're still falling down on the sidewalk. I miss so many suckers. I'm obviously not super good at pruning tomatoes yet, but I know I'll get better with time and experience. And these are starting to get super big. I mean, big for me. I don't think they're actually that big, but it doesn't seem like any of my stuff is that big. But nothing's blushing yet or turning red. This is another Roma plant, and you can see again the issues with end rot. It's only on these Roma tomatoes. The one in the garden, yeah, see there's end rot on there too. So we've been having a lot of fried green tomatoes, just cutting that part off. But the one in the garden is actually doing okay. So I'll show you that one. This is another Roma tomato. Looks like these ones are doing a little bit better, but not all of them. Oh, there's a big one that doesn't have any end rot. So hopefully we'll get one off of here. And then my cherry tomatoes, which are just like, I mean, honestly, this could be a jungle in and of itself. It's just crazy how these go. And then finally here is my Brussels sprouts that are doing okay. They all have little Brussels on them. These ones are probably the smallest, but I'm gonna jive over here quickly and show you this one, which is one of the best ones that is doing really good still. So hopefully here in the next couple weeks, we'll have some Brussels sprouts. And then as I'm over here, I'll just show you a couple more things. This is my peppers. One of my pepper plants was getting choked out, so I tried to move it over here. It looks like it likes its new home better. Same with my basil, which I've now learned how to prune, and I'm starting to get some bushes out of the side of that, so that's exciting. Carrots look good. Cilantro's done. Like, it just doesn't taste good. It's big. I wonder if I can cut this back like all the way and get some tender leaf out of it again. I might try that today, or try to research it at least, because I mean, it looks great, but it just doesn't taste like it used to. And then my bunch of onions are coming up just fine. All right, I'm gonna move over here. So some of my onions are getting bulbs. Hold on, I gotta set down my coffee. Some of my onions are getting bulbs. Take a look at this one. Let's see if I can show you. See that? So, still pretty small, but it's exciting to see them bulbing out at least. Carrots are doing the carrot thing, looking just fine. I planted these ones in rows and I like it better. It definitely looks better. And then my peppers, they're still not getting too tall because I think I let them fruit early, but like check out, they're just like loaded down with delicious looking peppers. So, and all of them are doing really good they have something on them. So I actually might come in and try to harvest some of these and eat them. More cherry tomatoes. Nothing to see here other than my lack of ability to prune. More cherry tomatoes. I think this is so funny. This one is like, it's just not gonna stop growing. So it towers over the rest of them, and I might actually have to encourage this one to stop eventually, but the fruit on it look really lovely too. So I'm excited about these. All right, and then over on the last bed, so I posted this on Instagram. I have a lemon cucumber plant that I got from my son's teacher, and look at that. So we're pretty excited about seeing what those taste like. The peas back here are like thriving as well, although they're starting to yellow, and we got like 3 days worth of rain and it was crazy. So we'll see what happens there. And the cucumbers are gonna like take them over. Like, look at this. This cucumber's just like, hey, welcome. This is my garden. Get out of my way. Everyone that's following knows that this is the hot mess area of the garden. I haven't pulled any broccoli plants yet, even though I keep threatening to. This one has a ton of like, so this is where we harvested, obviously, and then it just has a ton of side shoots going. So I'm gonna see what happens there. But I'm pretty pumped about it. And that's about it. More carrots down here. Trying to get it to, there we go. Lots more carrots down there. I chopped off, these sunflowers are about to bloom. I chopped off these ones and I'm trying to dry out the seeds and see if there's more that will come up along the side of it. We'll see how that goes. So it's pretty rare that we get a day where we're not working and the kids are not here. And so we are totally taking advantage of that. We're gonna run to Menards and run on some errands, and then my husband's gonna mow. I'm gonna set up the pool for tomorrow. Normally we're at my parents for 4th of July, but we're home, and I'm gonna try to make something special for my daughter to feel holiday-ish. We've made some special food. And then I'm gonna actually sit outside and plan some garden expansion. I'll show you a couple areas specifically that I'm trying to figure out what I wanna plant and do with. And then I also wanna get a notebook and just start recording. Like, these videos have been helpful for me to look back at my own thinking through this process, but I think also just recording like how I planted and lessons I've learned and things like that this year, so I can bring that into next year would be good. All right, so this area on the far side of the sidewalk is one of the areas that I think I'm finally starting to know what I want to do with. This is the path to our back door. We have a detached garage, so we walk this path a lot. And I'm thinking that on this fence where it's sunny here up front, and actually the sun on this whole stretch is pretty good throughout the day. We just have a tree that shades it in the morning in the back. But I think this will be where I try to plant some apple trees, and I'm going to try to train them to the fence. And so I don't know if I'll do 2 or 3, so I'm figuring that out still, but I'm probably going to train them to the fence. And then we're going to rip out all of this grass, and I want to do like a cut flower bed around the trees so that I have good flowers to bring in to put on vases. I don't know if we'll do more food over here or not. If we do, it might be like pretty food, like Swiss chard or something that like kind of looks bushy and colorful. So we got to figure that out. But anyway, so I think this whole area, we're gonna take the grass out and try to make it into a thing. And then I'm not exactly sure about this, but my garden, the aisles that I made aren't big enough for arched trellises. And I'm realizing with like the cucumbers, and I want to grow more melon, and the beans and the peas, there's like a lot of stuff that just needs to climb, and I don't have really the setup for it in my garden. And so I'm also thinking back here of just doing like some arched trellises over this area and making kind of a pretty walkway. I might put some plants in the back by the compost bin to kind of disguise the compost bin. Eventually that will all be a parking pad that we have to pave in. So it's a little bit weird to me to have arch trellises like go to like no destination. And then I'm also a little bit nervous because it is against the fence, and so it gets the morning sun, but it doesn't get the afternoon sun. And so I need to do some more thinking on that, but I just can't find another place in my yard that would be good for an arch trellis. I could also just vertical trellis, which is the other idea of trying to go up just the fence, but I don't know. So anyway, some sort of arch trellis, likely apple trees trained to the fence. I'll put a picture on here of what I think that will look like. So this is one area I want to start designing today. So this is our front yard, and this is the one area that I think we are finally kind of set on what we might want to do here. This is off of our front porch, and we don't really have a seating area in the front, and so I'm thinking that this can all be like a little paved seating area, and then where the grass is dead kind of along this wall and underneath the bay, I'm actually gonna see if we can sneak in some cold frame to get a little bit more food production here. And I'm thinking if it's cold frame is in the back, maybe even a little bit of row of planting in front of it, so we can plant some flowers or something a little bit more ornamental, being this is the front yard, and then the seating area in front of that. And I think this will be the first area that we start with. We only have grass in our front yard, and so there's a lot we want to do here. We have some landscaping plans that has like a really cool grassy border along the retaining wall. And this retaining wall, you can't tell from up here, but it's about probably 5 feet tall off of the sidewalk. And so anyway, I think that's all in the plans. We've been hesitant to do anything up here because we do want to tier the front yard a little bit and make the areas less slopey and more flat, and we know that that's going to be a bit of a project. So we've been waiting to make sure we're very clear on what we want to do before we've started this area. But I think I can do the seating area up here, and that won't impact our plans for over by the fence. All right, that's it. We're gonna head to Menards here in a few minutes, run our errands, and hopefully enjoy our holiday weekend. I hope you do as well. Thanks. Bye.